Hello, and welcome to Beering in Mind Beer Reviews. In our last video, we looked at Old Goose by Boon, and today we're going to take a look at another Boon beer, and that is Kriek Boon. It looks like Boon, but it's pronounced Boon, and Kriek is cherry. And this is a lambic beer made by Boon in Belgium. And lambic is a style that almost went extinct in the 1960s and 70s. Lambic makers were kind of going out of business. Nobody wanted to drink it. And for a couple of reasons. It's kind of an unusual beer. Often has very sharp flavors. Very kind of difficult for the average beer drinker to get their head and tongue around. So basically what lambic is a beer that is boiled up. The barley malt is boiled up as a wort, and then when it's cooled down and taken up to the roof or attic of the brew house, and poured out into large pans, and the windows are opened, and the wild yeast float in and settle onto the wort and begin the fermentation process. The windows are left open for an evening, and whatever yeast happens to fall onto the wort will begin the fermentation process. These are wild yeasts, and that area of Belgium, just outside of Brussels, has a high concentration of yeast that will get this process going and produce the kinds of flavors they want. So very unusual style. And then after one night, the wort is transferred into wooden barrels, and these barrels also have some yeast resident inside them, including the Brett variety of yeast, the Brettanomyces variety, and that will add some interesting flavors to the mix as well. And lambics are generally aged for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Many lambic makers also produce what's called goose, which is a blend of different ages of lambics. But what we're looking at today is a straight lambic, fruited lambic, which has cherries, and Boon uses fresh cherries, not dried cherries, into this, and according to the label here, 25% is of the volume is done with cherries. On ResterBIER, this one has a 1,129 ratings, which is a lot. An average score of 3.40, percentile rating of 74 out of 100, and 32% out of 100 for its style, which is lambic fruited. And I'm going to take this over to the sink to open it up. Sometimes these tend to gush. This is a 2013 vintage, which means it's been sitting in the bottle for 6 years, and we will see how it is. I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back, and we opened it up. It did not gush, just a little pop. And these beers tend to have sediment in the bottom. They're unfiltered. In Belgium, they are served, or they're held into baskets at this angle here to allow the yeast to settle into the smallest space down here in the bottom of the bottle. And these bottles have the dimple in the bottom as well. So again, this is 2013 Kriek Boon. Let's give it a go. Okay, so what do we have here is a very kind of translucent. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's kind of translucent. If I hold it to the light, I can see through it. Red, kind of a fizzy, plump little half-finger pink head. Check the lace out there. It's kind of slow dropping lace. Let's try the aroma. Okay, it does have very gentle cherry, maybe cough drops, cherry cough drops, something like that. Something soapy as well. Perfumey, soapy. Flavors, again, gentle cherry, a little creamy, light, maybe lightly sugared cherries. It has a typical lambic kind of retronasal, funky hit in the nose. There's something that kind of hits up in the top of the palate, and it's very hard to describe, but it kind of a little explosion of aroma after a sip. And this is fruity, tart. Maybe a little tiny bit of hop bitterness, not much at all. Lambics tend to use old hops, aged hops, not fresh hops at all. And it's a kind of moderately dry finish, thin medium body. So this is not an extreme lambic, not really terribly special. If you're interested in trying fruited lambics here, Boon Creek might be a good place to start. It's not going to knock you out with anything. Some lambics by companies like Dry Fontaine or Cantillon can have very extreme sour, tart explosions of flavors that will really, really hit you. Here, this is very mild. Perhaps a little bit too sweet, almost, but it's very pleasant at the same time. Yeah, very drinkable. Here, so this is aged for 6 years. Here, it's in kind of a pleasant state. It says it's best before 2020 February, so we're almost at that here. On the other hand, a good strong goose can go for 20 years. So give this a try if you happen to see it here. Again, Kriek Boon, a nice little fruited lambic. That's it for today. Please have a good evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.